Hello, everyone. This is Jim Spohrer with ISSIP, the International Society of Service Innovation Professionals, and this is our quarterly welcome call. And hi, Felix. I see you joining. And hey, Frank, and hey, Vaishali. And these calls are very informal, and I'm going to mute you, Felix, because we're getting a little bit of feedback on your mic. And my cat, as you can tell, it's very informal because my cat, Petey, has just heard the exciting beginning of the call and decided he has to be part of this exciting informal welcome call. And we had about, in the last quarter, we had about, I don't know, between 40 and 50 new participants sign up at the website to be part of the community. And we do these calls and post them to the web and post the presentation just because we want people to have the opportunity to learn a little bit about ISIP and see some faces and learn about the programs and so forth. So um, uh, Vaishali is our quarterly welcome leader. She's on the call and having a little technical difficulty because she'd normally be running the slides. But I'm Jim Spohrer. I'm one of the founding board directors and one of the major volunteers. And usually, what I like to do in the first few minutes is just give you an example of what we consider to be our give, get, grow welcome. And give, get, grow is a term that Vishali came up with for our quarterly welcome format. Um, I got this slide that I use to talk a little bit about myself and to talk a little bit about give, get, grow. And then we just go around. Um, Michele has Michele Carroll, she's not on, but she's got a recording of her executive director welcome. So we'll play that as well. And Vaishali will do her give, get, grow. And then Frank, if you want to, and Felix, if you want to, you'll be invited to just introduce yourself and talk about um, what you hope to give to the community, what you hope to get from the community, and how you hope to grow with the community. And so, as I said, in 2012, I was at IBM. I was an executive there, and we decided, along with colleagues at Cisco and HP and other tech companies and a number of universities, to form this community focused on service and service innovation. And we define services very broadly, basically helping other people with, building your expertise so you can help people better. And we define service innovation as increasing capabilities in the system and getting benefits from those increased capabilities, but also mitigating the harms because every technology has both good and bad aspects to it. Bad actors can always use a technology for bad purposes. So service innovation really looks at capabilities, benefits, and harms, mitigating the harms, increasing the benefits, and increasing capability. Um, with that, we started, like I said, 13 years ago. We started ISIP, and so it's a 13-year-old organization with about 2,000 participants globally. Um, Everyone from executives at tech companies and other companies to students at universities. And what I am giving right now is I'm almost 70 years old. I'm retired from IBM. As you can tell, I like to have my cat Petey on my lap in the morning when I'm doing my emails and doing my calls. And uh, what I try to do is I'm working on my PhD is in computer science and artificial intelligence from Yale. So I work on automation to make it easier for the volunteers who help ISIP to do their jobs with advanced capabilities from technology. And what I get is at this stage, I just enjoy watching other people's careers unfold and trying to be helpful when I can. And my philosophy on help is I don't try to be like a Superman helper. I try to always do just the smallest possible thing I can do that's useful to somebody. And by keeping it small, I can help many, many people. If I tried to do big things, I could probably only help a few people, but I like to help lots of people just a little bit. So I nudge things in the right direction. Maybe an introduction to a person is what they need, or maybe they just need a little encouragement, or somebody to read one of their papers, or I've got this idea, could you give me feedback? That's the kind of little stuff I find it easy to do and enjoyable to do. And then I've watched people go from student to uh, early in their career to CEO of companies, yes, to venture capitalists, yes. I've seen people do the whole the whole 9 yards, and that's really enjoyable to me. And my growth opportunity is I'm building an AI digital twin of myself. And I know that's very controversial. A lot of people say, "Oh no, no, why would anybody want a digital twin of themselves?" Well, I've written a lot of papers and I can't speak Chinese or Japanese or German, and my digital twin can give fluent um, presentations, summaries of my paper in those languages, and then I can come in person, real Jim, and answer questions. So my digital twin helps communicate ideas better than I can, and then I can build those relationships. So anyway, I went on a little longer than I thought, and there is one thing I'm going to do before the end of this call. We've got student teams right now working on an ISSIP onboarding course, and I'll make sure in the recording of this video and in the chat, I put the link so people who want to take the ISSIP onboarding course, and we've got 3 different formats, including an AI-driven version of it that you can try out for fun and give the students feedback. So that's what I plan to do during this meeting today. And when we survey people, 3 common themes come up. They want to grow their professional network. Basically, they want to meet more people around the world who share their interest in innovation, typically service innovation. They're people who have this time and enthusiasm and expertise, and they have collaborative projects in mind. Sometimes it's like some people have like a million ideas and maybe don't execute very many of them, but they have all this time and enthusiasm and expertise, and they just want somebody to share their latest, greatest idea with. And other times the seed hits good soil and grows, and collaborations spring out. Some very big collaborations have sprung up in the past. Um, and also a lot of, especially people in early in their career, but sometimes people later in their career want to get professional recognition. And that helps them in their companies get promoted because they can show their external technical eminence. So we see these you know, growing and giving and getting as the 3 things. And I've got some examples here on this slide. I'm not going to read them, but we do post these slides, and we do post the recording, and everybody who signed up gets a link to those, so you can go in and explore more later. Now, at this stage, I typically play a recording, and I'm going to go ahead and do that. I have to stop. Let's see how I do this. I think if I hit escape, yeah, there we go. And please give me a thumbs up if you can hear this recording from Michele. There's Michele Carroll. She's our ISSIP Executive Director. It's 5 a.m. here in California where she is, so she is resting, and that's what she should be doing. So I'm going to play her recording now, if I can figure out how to do it. No, I don't want to do, I think I have to, sorry, I've got technical difficulties. I'm going to start playing it and then grow it large. And give me a thumbs up if you can hear it.
Hello and welcome to ISSIP. I'm Michele Carroll, Executive Director, and I'd like to invite you to review in this brief message what our platform and programs are about, who we are, and invite you to consider contributing as a volunteer or donor to any of them that might particularly speak to you. So the International Society of Service Innovation Professionals is a 501c3. We have grown at a fast clip over the last couple of years, and we're now a little over 2,000 individuals in 72 countries around the world. And it's now more than 600 organizations, from the extremely large global leaders to very small stealth startups even, and more than 200 educational institutions. So I just want to review with you briefly what our key programs are for you to consider how you might engage. And let me ask you first to go to the website, ISSIP.org, ISSIP.org, and you'll see a Who We Are tab. And at that tab, you see our leadership. And there's this executive leadership, the board of directors, the executive committee, our executive team, and the operations team, awards team, the various programs that we operate. And there are pictures and LinkedIn URLs for all of them for you to get a little better acquainted with all of who we are. You'll see a very broad team all around the world representing perspectives and insights from industry, from government, from academia, and nonprofit NGOs. Truly a global group. And we are volunteer led and managed in all of our programs. We have an annually elected president this year, 2025. It's Deb Stokes of Dell Technologies. Our vice president is Haluk Demirkan, who is with Amazon and University of Washington. We have myself as part-time executive director, and all of our operations leaders that you see listed on that leadership page are volunteer, each recruiting teams to help with their operations focus area, awards, publishing, events, AI collab. And what we all have in common is that we are lifelong learners committed to making our world a better place. So, looking at engaging, again, back to the website, ISSIP.org, encourage you to look at the programs tab. And under that programs, you'll see our annual awards programs. There's ongoing credentialing, where you can earn credentials for contributions. Publishing, a free offering for active ISSIP participants interested in publishing chapters or books for either of our two collections you'll see there. You could serve as an ISSIP ambassador, perhaps be a mentor in the AI collab, our bridge from between academia and industry, working this year on projects from creating digital twins to the really exciting project charting an AI automation path for an organization. So those are some of the broad programs. There's also under the events tab on the website. It's a great place to keep up with the regular hosted events that ISSIP manages. And what I want to say is each of those is an area to which you are welcome as an ISSIP participant in global community. And each is led by an operations volunteer who is recruiting teams to support that work. So if you're interested in supporting, I'm sure we would welcome the volunteerism. So ways to engage is to donate of your time and talent, your thoughts, your insights, write a blog for the ISSIP News, and volunteer for the service roles in any of our programs. And if your organization might have interest in donating financially, excuse me, new tool here, always learning. I would be the one to talk to. We are free to individuals because of our donors who wholly fund our operations and platforms. And you'll see at the website, there's a donate page that walks through these three levels, from donations that sustain our operations to participation in the AI collab as a team that seeks the mentoring, or at the higher level, the innovate level secures executive director time for program management of a project we co-create value on together. However it is that you choose to give, to get, to grow in global ISSIP community, we welcome your participation. Thanks.
Okay, let me get out of that and Now go back to my slide share. I'm still sharing. Well, let me make sure I'm still sharing. And we're almost to the part where we invite everybody to give their introduction. Let me just go back here. And I've got too many tabs and windows. It's hard to find the buttons to push. Here we go. Okay, so that was Michele. And as she said, there's lots of volunteer opportunities. And it takes time, though. We're not like, this is one of the things I want ISSIP to get better at is people will want to volunteer. And then months later, we finally get them to the point where they can volunteer because there's a lot of trust building and education. And this is why we're working on these onboarding courses to maybe speed that up a little bit. So I'll put the link in there. These are just some of the slides in a different format that Michelle's shared. So there's a lot of easy access links. You've already heard me. Now let's turn it over to Vaishali, and then we'll invite you, Felix and Frank, to introduce yourself to the community. So Vaishali, over to you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm sorry, I was playing around with my background and I realized that it was flipping on the mirror side, so I just removed it. Yeah. Morning to everyone. I know I don't know what time zone people are in, but it's early. You can see that. So I knew Jim from IBM. I used to work at IBM back in India in 2008, 9, 10, around that time is when I would bother Jim with my questions, queries, and innovation and technical papers and stuff. I come from IIT. I've done my master's from IIT, worked at IBM for a little over a decade, and then moved to the US. Worked at different banking sector here. My last to last project was with Google as a program manager, and I recently worked on contracting basis with CMS.gov. Other than working, doing my regular job, I'm hunting for a new job right now. I think I enjoy these ISSIP sessions. The welcome sessions are so sought after. People are so excited to see how we carry out all the things. There are so many opportunities here, and Michele has taken all the initiative to set up all the new website with a lot of things that are much more clearer, a lot easier to access. Jim is always there. He's like it's 5 a.m. in the morning and he still joins in before me. It's so inspiring to see that. So the way Jim said that about his digital controversies, all different thoughts that people have, there's always a good side to everything that you do. No matter how small it is, there is always that good side. And that's the one that we should be tapping for. That's the whole idea behind this community that we come together. So when you say give, people will say, oh, I don't think I have much to give. Oh, there are so many technical people sitting here with rich backgrounds coming from different experiences. But I think the minimum that you could give is lend your ears. When people join in here, we are welcome. We want them to know that this is the space for them. We all work it out together. We all do our best. That's why the minimum thing that I could give is lend my ears, listen to people, to see if they have something to offer, to see if they have something that we can participate together as a community. Get is building the art of putting this community together. We have people who join from different parts of the world. That's why we have these call twice, one in the morning to accommodate the other side of the world, and in the evening to take care of everywhere around the different time zones in the US. And the grow is how we are doing it all together as a mission to be a part of the community, because community is not just those few people you hang out in the evening on Fridays or on the weekends or something, but it's everything beyond that. The world is a global space, and we can see what's happening in the recent times. There are so many changes. I mean, historically we would say, oh, we were present at that time at whatever age, whatever stage, and there's so much to learn. Jim has also encouraged me to go from this give, get, grow concept into writing a book. And right now it's in publication with BEP. I think it's yes, this week I received the first draft. I'm still reading and reviewing that, and very soon it should be out. I don't know how useful it's going to be, but it means community at its core is what we all human beings look at, whether as an individual, as a team, or as a bigger part. And that's where we all should participate, contribute, and bring in the best, no matter how small it is. With that being said, I will pass over the baton to Frank. You joined in early, and I will let you speak. If you have any questions for us, feel free to say that. Over to you, Frank.
Frank, you're on mute. There we go.
Jim is quite the mentor. Frank Odaz, Lone Eagle Consulting. The last 20 years, I've been on a mission as an independent in support of rural, remote, and indigenous learners as to how they might learn and embrace the high-end potential of being online as an individual, where if we all share what we know, we'll all have access to all our knowledge. That was the original purpose of my coming online in 1982 after receiving a master's in instructional technology at the University of Wyoming. And I was unemployed, and very few people were interested in my new skill set for microcomputer applications. And I thought, wouldn't this be the most interesting area to explore with rural, remote, and indigenous people? And so I'm now 73, looking back on a career of over half a century of being bold and independent and traveling a lot, working with seniors, individuals with disabilities, low-income folks, Native Americans across the United States and Canada, as well as Alaska Natives in Alaska, where I flew back and forth for 20 years into remote bush villages who had just received internet access via satellite dishes, so they could teach me how they could preserve their traditional cultures, their human values in a world of accelerating change. And a long story short, I see Felix and I think of myself in 1982, not knowing what it was like to use a modem and a computer to get online on a bulletin board system and to interact and take online lessons. And then I ended up creating online lessons in an online bulletin board called Big Sky Telegraph. I wanted to learn to write grants and did. And $1.4 million later, I literally had decades of experience with the philanthropic community, with nonprofits, with individuals that had no idea what being online was then or was about to become. And so if we fast forward to 2025, the year of truth, it's all hitting the fan, so to speak. And my vision that everyone would embrace the potential and the clouds would part and the angels would sing did not happen. And I was advocating community networking, bringing people together to share so we all have access to all our knowledge, and it didn't happen. And now we have a lot of things that are going sideways, and I'm not going to talk for a long time, but I see myself in Felix just starting out, and wish to impart that the future of humanity depends on whether or not we all see ourselves as members of the same species with sentience that has evolved over billions of years. And a year and a half ago, I came across Jim and found out we share a rural background and a mutual friend that worked at Apple. And we both get up early in the morning, and we have literally been exchanging over 1,000 messages in the past year and a half. And he's taught me a lot about how to be an aggressive self-directed learner, but also to kindle my curiosity. And I know quite a little bit now about digital twins and AI and the potential for humanity and what's missing right now. And, if we all give and get and grow, and lifelong learning is the shared goal of all of us, humanity will survive. But if we choose to be competitive and divisive, that is not a guaranteed future. So I have created a considerable amount of content trying to give it away. And I posted it on my website and in my little bio before joining this call. I have 2 links where everything I've created is online to be shared without restriction. In particular, grant templates for regular people as to what they could submit to get money and then what they could do with the money and how to measure the success. And that has been my means of creating value and putting it up there where it can be shared with anybody at all. So I won't continue on other than I'm at this point where what do I do with all I've learned now that my audience has kind of disappeared and everyone wants to do their own thing and not really listen to others, as Vaishali has said. And so I'm still in learning mode. My life isn't over. My father lived to be 98, so I might have 25 years, 30 years, or more. My goal is to go well past 100 years old, so I've got time yet. But how do I inspire others with my 50 years of experience in travel? And that's kind of where ISIS comes in, is you have a couple thousand members, a great deal of content, the correct philosophy. You have Vaishali creating a book, Give, Get, Grow. And at issue is time is short. We don't have the last 50 years that we've somewhat squandered. We now need to act and act quickly because AI is about to overwhelm a lot of us, and it can be used for good or ill. And people have to understand the power of all of us applied thoughtfully, but also the potential power of AI abused by those that would divide us instead of bringing people together. So with that, I want to give a shout out to Felix and your entire generation. Now is your time. Good luck. And my main learning is that we're all part of the same sentience that has evolved over billions of years. And I've learned a lot about the origins of the universe and what we do and don't know from Jim. And with that, please consider me a resource, and all my content is online to be shared without restriction. And personally, I've enjoyed the freedom of being my own man, self-directed learner, traveling a lot, evangelizing the power of all of us, and was pleased to receive an invite and a link to join this call this morning from Jim. So it's a pleasure to meet you all, and the future is upon us. Thank you very much.
Great. So Felix, your turn. Thanks, Frank.
Yeah, so I'm also going to shortly introduce myself. So my name is Felix. I'm quite so quite young, maybe with 25. Sometimes not even that young, but I think young. So 25, being studying physics. I have done my master in Germany, in Aachen, on RWTH, and then been working with Gerhard Rudergan. He's also part of ISSIP. On some like working there as a
Just so Felix, just so people know, Gerhard Rudergan, who's one of Felix's mentor, is a past president of big or a power supply, but white noise could.
I can only hardly hear you. I don't know if it's my connection.
It's okay. It's not that bad. Go ahead.
Okay, but yeah, I picked up some words, and yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, so I've been working on some, but I hope you can hear me nicely.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay. So I've been working with Gerhard on some projects, more in like about digital twins or requirements for digital twins in automotive industry, and then some other projects within this work, getting some first coming from the physics like fundamental science point of view to more project management and application based and project management. So in changing from this fundamental physics to project management experiences, and had a lot of fun with it. But now I plan to do a PhD. So my plan is to start a PhD in September in Germany as well. But there I still think, or I kind of don't want to miss out to work on some projects, on some digital projects, and to maybe somehow still get up to date about the newest developments in the digital world, and get some experience within this topic and create some network. And like this, all these digital services and so on are kind of really fascinating me, and I like to work on them. So I hope to, with ISSIP, I can contribute to this world and maybe help somehow to tackle the problems that are in the world and all the difficulties coming with AI, next to my like physical fundamental science stuff. So far I've done not that much experience with programming digital twins and so on, but I hope somehow I can still be useful as some small parts.
Yeah, you have interests in physical sciences and building chips. So, you know, that combining physical sciences, project management, social aspects of organizations. So happy you were able to join us.
Thank you very much. It's still very difficult for me. I think I will join with another browser if maybe this can improve it. I just was able to grasp some words.
Okay.
Felix, we can hear you. I think there's some background, but we could hear you. Welcome. It's really nice. You have a rich background. Don't use the word somehow. You have a lot of potential. You're very young. You have energy. So there's a lot that you can bring, which some of us, some of us cannot. So do not use the word somehow. You say, yeah, I will do it. And there's that somehow is actually a lot larger than what you are anticipating. Don't get intimidated by great people like Jim, Frank here in this room. Yeah, we are all on the same page. So yeah, you're always welcome. Nice to hear you and nice to know you. Connect on LinkedIn. If you have any questions, reach back to us. Sorry, Jim, I interrupted. I think there's some background sound from somewhere, so it's a little noisy.
I just muted Felix, and Felix, you can come off mute again when you're ready, but the noise was on Felix's line, and we were
Okay.
just trying to figure out how to turn it off. Maybe it's the headsets, or maybe it's a I know sometimes a power line, when it gets near the microphone line, there's interference, or if there's like a fan or something. But let me see. I'll unmute you. Or you have to unmute yourself, Felix, when you're ready. Okay, if you want to try. If you want to try to unmute yourself and see if the sound has gone away, that'd be great. I do have one more thing here on the call today. Yeah, it seems to still be there, but I want to make sure everybody knows about this project to build the ISSIP onboarding course. And these students at multiple universities are building the course. And these are the names of some of the students from Penn State University. I'm going to put their material. I'm scrolling. I don't know if you can see my screen or not at the moment. Am I sharing? Yeah. Okay. So this is just the ISSIP Slack. And Felix, I don't know if you're part of ISSIP Slack or not, and I don't know, Frank, if you're part of it, but it's kind of like our inner circle where we communicate with people working on projects. So if you get involved in a project, instead of sending a bunch of emails, we use Slack. And oh, my cat Petey has decided to join us again. But I'm going to find it here in a minute. Sorry, I didn't have this queued up before. Okay, so this is the onboarding course that they've created. That's the PowerPoint of it. But I'm trying to find, there's a little file they gave me. Actually, maybe I can find it over here on my desktop. Let me see if I'm lucky here. I'll find it and I'll put it in the chat. There's just a couple URLs that I want to make sure everybody has. Actually, maybe it's in here. Okay, I'm just trying to, oh, here it is right here. Welcome onboarding. Okay, so I found the file, and if PD will just let me, okay, how do I download the file though? Okay. Okay, here's the links. And now I just got to move Windows out of the way and download this. Why is it not downloading? Oh, here it is. Download. Okay, so now that's downloading. And I'm going to upload this into the Zoom chat. And I'll make sure it's posted somewhere for others who watch the recording later. So everybody has access to this. But let me, PD. Okay, it's in my downloads here. Okay, I'll just open that, put that in there, and maybe I'll put the links in here as well. There's a pretest, okay? The pretest is, let's see if I can do this. The pretest is maybe 10 questions, as I recall. It's not very many questions. And it just is a few simple questions to see how much you know uh, about service innovation already. Oops, I can't show it because I've already taken it. Oh, now I can. My score was 10 out of 10, not surprisingly, since I'm mentoring them. But it's like, which way will you be learning? I chose the AI-led, but there's a self-led with Canvas and there's instructor-led. What does ISSIP stand for? So anyway, you can see there's just the pretest is a set of questions. Now, once you take the pretest and view your score, then you have to take a little screen. If you're going to use the AI, you have to take a little screenshot of the upper part of your test because that's a prerequisite to going into the instruction. And then once you've, next go through the onboarding course using the link below. This course will introduce you to ISSIP's mission, values, programs, and how to get involved. So when you click on this, you can see it's ISSIP onboarding, and it's got some tabs here, and you can say, let's start section A of the onboarding. And great. Before we dive into section A, let's confirm a couple things to keep us on track. Have you already taken the pretest? And then you have to upload, using this plus button, you have to upload your little screen to prove that you actually took the pretest. And they have the link in here if you don't. So that's important to take the course. Then the course is pretty cool. I'm not going to upload my thing again, but then at the very end, let's see if I can go back here. At the very end, then you take a post test to see if you've learned. And you don't have to worry, but to get your certificate, you have to have 85% or higher, but you can take the thing as many times as you want. And it does give you feedback about which ones you got right and wrong. So people can do that. And I'm going to just copy these and put them, I'll put this in, when I upload the recording, I'll also make sure these links are there for people.
When we reply back to this email on a thank note, we can add this document to that, if that.
Yes.
So it'll be with everyone who may have participated this morning or who may have been on the invited list there.
Yeah, I'll stop my share, but yep, we'll make sure people have those URLs and can try it out. The course takes less than an hour. If you have, like me, if you're using the free Chat GPT, sometimes it times out because, free Chat GPT, you can't use it forever. So it took me actually a couple days to complete the test, but I know some people who have the paid version of Chat GPT, and they were able to go through the whole thing in like 40 minutes or less. Um, but we are developing a couple other versions of this course. In fact, there's multiple teams at multiple universities building multiple versions of the course. And there'll be an ISSIP blog post with links out to all of these. And if you want to help these students, you can take the course and give feedback. If you want to help ISSIP, obviously that helps us as well. The students are part of programs where they get credit for working on industry projects, even if it's a nonprofit. So the students get like a grade at the end that helps them. But hopefully they're also learning a lot about using AI to build online courses, because I think that's going to be one of the greatest uses of AI is to have AI teach us things that we want to learn about and explore things in interesting ways. So maybe I'll stop there, and that'll be part of the recording. And we can see, we actually have more time if anybody has more things they want to discuss, or we can, I think I'm supposed to show the last screen of the presentation again. So let me do that. And then we can either end or people can hang out. We can talk more. It's up to you. And Vaishali, over to you for any wrap-up discussion, or go through the others for
Thanks,
last.
and thanks to Frank and Felix for joining. I know it's early morning or afternoon or wherever you are, so it's nice to have you. We always look forward to having fewer people, so we can have more time for conversation and see how we gel together for this Give Get Grow. This is just the beginning. This is just the kickoff session to welcome. There's more to it. There's so much more to it, either to give, because the way Frank said, I was very happy to see that Frank says that he has another 15 years of work to do. That is so positive. And not 15 or 20 or 25 years to give so much more. So there are people who have so much and they're willing to give, because maybe people do have, but they do not know how to give, where to share and do all of that. So I've put together the links that you have shared, Frank, and we'll share it with the team once we roll out this email for this morning meeting. Is there anything else that any one of you have to say while we wrap up this call?
Well, I might pipe in just briefly. When I started in 1982, I was caretaking a ranch in remote Colorado, and I had not a clue what being online was, and that fascinated me in that IBM had just come out with the first PC, Apple IIe, in the Apple IIe Plus was just brand new. And I thought this technology has unlimited potential. So I borrowed a 300 baud modem and I had a little laptop, and I got online and met a retired Army colonel who had a bulletin board system called the Little Red Electronic Schoolhouse, and he had a few online lessons, and I jumped in and made a fool of myself and got stuck and lost, and called him up, and 2 hours later pried the phone off my ear and began a 10-year mentoring relationship with the colonel, a retired Army colonel. And that's over 50 years ago. And since then, I've learned a lot about the unlimited potential, but I've also seen that most of it has been missed in that we have billionaires running Facebook and other systems that focused on advertising and making money for themselves, as opposed to bringing humanity together with the shared goal of if we all share what we know, we'll all have access to all our knowledge. And now the climate change crisis is real. 50 years ago, it was theoretical. And so we are out of time in many ways, but also we have the opportunity to bring people together in record time because so many people are online. And Jim is holding a book called Regeneration, basically solving the climate crisis in one generation.
Thank you.
And there are a lot of good people out there. So I would say now is crunch time for people to come together now that so many are online. And so we aren't talking about decades in the future. We're really talking about the imminent now as to what is possible. So I appreciate you being online as the advance guard of the future of humanity. And you know, this is something that we all share as, you know, the apex of human sentience in 2025. So thanks again.
Thanks, Frank. Thanks for that great book by Paul Hawkins. And Felix, we should give you the last word. What? You're in
Yeah, so
you're in Aachen, Germany, right? Is that right? Which part of
yeah,
Germany?
I'm currently in Germany. Yeah, coming from Belgium, but living in Germany. Yeah. Is the mic better now?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah, perfect. Good to hear. Okay, changed my headset. Yeah, so thank you as well. I'm looking forward to make the tests and then see how I can contribute. So it's very looking forward to start to see on Slack what's going on and then maybe somehow get some first steps into it. And I think these are very interesting topics that are tackled, and I hope to learn a lot and to give a lot. So thank you very much.
Well, and say hi to Gerhard for me. And I see you have an easel in the background. Do you paint? Are you a painter?
No, it's actually from. No, actually, it's not my own. It's
Oh.
the one of the person which has been living before me in this room.
Okay. I thought we might have a budding Van Gogh or something, but great to meet you again, and Felix, and as always, wonderful to see Vaishali, a leader on Give, Get, Grow, and we actually do another one of these later for the Asian time zone. And Frank, always a pleasure, and thanks again for that great book and your inspiring words and being a pioneer. And I should say one last thing about Frank. I could say lots of things, but I'm just gonna say one last thing. He is a master curator. You know, there are some people that information comes into their life and it just comes in and goes out and goes in and goes out. Frank takes every little piece, finds where that goes, curates it, makes it available for others, and that's a superpower, Frank. And you are like in the top, 0.1110111% in my book. Of the 8 billion people on the planet, I can't think you're in the top 10 for sure. So, anyway, very good to see you all. And I'll stop the share. I'll stop the recording and I'll get this posted to ISSIP YouTube later, and you'll get a link to it all, so you can go back and look at it what you want or share it with others. Thanks, everybody. Bye for now.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.